different classes for the Django. They were just cutting because of network. So I want you to import all of them inside one and make them together. So it has to be the up one now will be the first one, second, top, then 2 minutes after. Please hook up. I'm already online. What I'm going to do today is going to be like summary of what you need in Photoshop. So record it if you have to record it. As you're playing it tomorrow or anytime, you learn Photoshop very fast with that. Have you all joined up? Please join up. Want to start? This is 11 o'clock, huh? Yeah. Hello and welcome to another very interesting series of Photoshop. Photoshop is a wonderful graphic software. You can use it to build your simple graphics or even do photo editing. If you want to be snapping pictures, you want to make the picture look better, you want people to be interested in your work as a photographer, Photoshop is so good. And I'm going to be teaching you how to use it. I'm going to teach it in a very simple way that even if you've not been using a graphic software before, you're going to find out that it's very, very interesting. And to do that, I'm going to quickly share my screen. So I'll go to share my screen immediately. Okay, this is the Photoshop application. So if you've installed Photoshop, like I said, I told you guys to do last week, just double click on the icon of Photoshop. This will open up for you. So this is the Photoshop application. We're going to be looking at it one by one. We're going to understand what it is, and we're going to use it. So I'm going to quickly pick my stuff and keep at the middle so that I can explain to you the different parts of the Photoshop. So the first part is this right side. This is the layers tab. Every layer that you create is going to be here. Then on this left-hand side, you have your tools. Then down here is where we have the effect, if you want to add the effect. Then up here, you have your menu bar. So those are the major places. So I'm going to come again, the menu bar, the layer panel, the tools. Then you have your, if you want to add effects. Then for a very tool or a very picture or object you're working on, you're going to see the property here. So those are the major things. So let's get started. Is everybody here? Can everybody hear me very well from the audience? Wearing earpiece. Anybody on earpiece? Can you hear me? Who is on earpiece that can hear me? You can hear me good. So let's get started immediately. Like I said, we're going to finish up almost everything now. And after now, you should be able to use Photoshop. So anything left off, maybe by tomorrow, we'll just round it up. The Photoshop is very, very easy to use. Are we together? So the first thing you're going to do is to go to Window. Can you see Windows? Window, click on it and make sure that under Workspace that Essential Default is selected. You can see my own Essential Default is already selected. So if it's not selected, make sure you click on it. Essential Default has to be selected. So the next one will be to create your new project. So I'm going to go to File. So click on File, then click on New. File, New. That is how you create your project in Photoshop. File, New. Then you name the file what you want. So I'm going to simply name this Photo Thoughts. Photo Thoughts Example. That's Photoshop tutorial example. That's what I'm naming this with. Then under height, under width, make sure you put 1920. Make sure that is what you have. That's not what you're going to have, but because I already have a project that I built, so make sure here you have what? 1920, and make sure you have 1080. That is the size that we're going to be using. And make sure that you have pixels here, and that here you have 16 bits. So those are the most important things that you need to do. Then press your what? Okay. Press what? Okay. So once you press OK, that is going to come out. That is your first thing you do in Photoshop. Very, very simple. So start up your application. Make sure that the workspace that you have is Essential Default, and go to New and do this. So you can see that I now have my work cut out for me. So the next thing you're going to do will be to go to this background. You can see that the first layer is here now. I told you that this is the layer panel. So you have the first layer background, which is what we created here. So I'm going to unlock this first layer by double clicking on this. So once I double click, you are going to see it's going to name it layer 0. But the layer I want to name it what? Background. So I'm going to change it to background. Then I'm going to, if you want it to have a color so that it will look better, I'm going to put color, red color. This color does not mean the background color, but that's what you're going to be using to monitor the color of the layer. So I have it selected. I'm going to click OK. So once I do that, you can see that that lock icon is out now, meaning that this my background layer is active now, so I can start working on it. Are we together on this? Are we together on this? Are we? Okay, you guys are practicing alongside. Okay, that's why you will not be together. So can you just do what I've just done? So let me come again. You understand? So the first thing I did was that I went to window. Can you see window? Then I went to workspace. Then I make sure that Essential Default is clicked. Once there is good beside it, that means it's clicked. Are we clear on that? The next thing I did was I went to file. Then I went to new. You understand? Then under this untitled, the name I put example. Just write example there as the name. Is that clear? Have you done that? Then under width, have 1920, the way I have here. Under height, have 1080. Make sure that you have pixels as the unit. And come here under bit, make sure you have 16 bit. Once you're done, click on OK. 1080 as the height. Yeah. Then click on OK. I'm not going to click on OK because I've already done this before, so I'm going to click. Bit is 16 bit, yeah. Your own is going to be 8 bit if you're just starting for the first time. So make sure you pick 16 bit. Have you done that? Huh? Okay. So I can move forward now. So the first thing we are going to learn is how to do move. So make sure that the layer you want to work on is selected by just clicking on it. You understand? So I'm on the background layer. To move, this is the move tool. So I click on this move tool, then I can move. You can see that this is moving. The background here is transparent, but this is the layer. Layer is moving. So I want you to move that. Then after moving, I want you to do Ctrl-Alt-Z to get it back. That is your undo. Ctrl-Z, yeah. Okay, make sure you've selected the what you want to move. Then click on the move tool. Then press and hold down. Then, okay, you've now unlocked the layer. So to unlock the layer, double click on that lock icon. So once you double click, it will bring out a dialog box. Just simply type in background. You see layer 0, type in background, then select a color. So that was how I locked this. So once you do that, then you can now click on that move and you can move. Can everybody move now? Can everybody move now? Okay, so you can move. You can see that Photoshop is very simple, very, very simple. And one thing about me when I teach you in such a way that it becomes extra simple, extra simple. Teaching is my hobby. That's what I'm called to do. That's what God created me for, to teach. So if you pay attention to what I'm teaching, it just has to be simple. There's no two ways about it. So have we moved? So I said after moving, you should do what? Ctrl-Alt-Z. You know when you want to do undo before in, what's it called? In CorelDRAW, you just do Ctrl-Z. You understand? In Photoshop, it has to be Ctrl-Alt-Z. Are we together? So now next thing will be to add a shape. We're going to add a shape now. So to add a shape, you can go to the, can you see this shape tool? Your own might be circle. So just right click on the shape tool. You're going to see different shapes: rectangle, rounded shape, ellipse, polygon, line, and the rest. But I want rectangle, so I'm going to click on rectangle. So once I do it, I will see these crosshairs. I'm going to draw what I want. So immediately after drawing, you can pick a fill color for it. It's black now, but I'm going to just change the color. If you go up, that's where you see where you can pick out a color. So this is the color I want. Okay. So that is how you can draw. So I press the escape key to go back. So if you want to color it, like I said, click on the arrow here. Up here, this is the property of what we are working on. So once you create anything, the properties will come out. So if you want to change it, you can easily change it from here. So I'm going to pick up this color. Then I press the enter key. So that is the color now. Can you see the way I brought in the shape? You can actually use the same way to bring in any shape you want, any shape you want. Like I said, you're going to start Photoshop and end it today. It's not difficult. Just follow what I'm doing. When you get home, practice it. Very simple. Even when we start doing advanced things, after what we'll do today, advanced things, working on photo, snapping, bringing in somebody's picture and working on it, you see that all of them are very simple, very, very simple. Don't get it twisted. Anything you want to learn in computer is very simple, but you have to make sure that you want to learn and start by learning. Have we done that? Have we done that? Does your own have color? I want your own to have different colors. I want some people to have red and some people blue, so that when I come, I'll check. Do I continue? Fortune, are you there? Should I continue? Okay, so I'm gonna now try to move what I just did now. So I'll go to the move tool, I click on it. So I'll move. Can you see I can move? That's how you can move. If you want to move precisely, you hold down the shift key so that you can move in precise direction. So I'm teaching you guys a whole lot of things, how to move on precise. Make sure you're taking note of all these steps. You're going to use them when you start building your project in Photoshop. Okay, so I've shown you how to move precisely. Moving, if you want to move ordinarily, if you want to move precisely, hold down the shift key and move. Okay. Are we there? Are we there? If you've done what I've done, let me know so that I can continue. Should I continue? Okay, the next thing will be to transform. If you want to rotate or do other things, how do you do that? You have to transform. And to transform, you use Control T. Everybody press Control T. Can you press Control T? So just click on the rectangle because the rectangle is what you want to transform. Then press Control T. Once you press Control T, you see the mark will change. Can you see that the mark has changed? So you can go to any place. If you want to reduce the size, if you want to scale, you can scale. If you want to go by this, you can do that. If you want to rotate, you let it change to rotation, you can rotate. You can see, we've done a whole lot of things. Resize, rotate, rescale. The Photoshop is getting so simple. It looks as if it was difficult, but you can see that it's so simple, very, very simple. So that is how you can do that. So once you're done transforming, if you don't like it, you come up here. Can you see up here? You click there, but if you like it, you click good. But because I don't want to continue, I'll just click here to return it back. That is undoing. You check up. If you're still there, you're going to see where I pressed. So that is how you transform. So you can see where we could rotate. We can do a lot of things. So let me transform again. I'm going to click on rectangle because that's what I want to work on. I'm going to do Control T again. So it's on transform mode now. Now, if you don't want to use your chisel to do that, you can come up here. You can see where all of them are. Width. If I want to change the width, you can see it's 100%, so I can change it to 50%. You can see it's changing. Can you see it's changing? So you can also use that. So depending on what you want to use to work on it, you can use that. So if I want to continue, I click good. If I don't want, I click this to say I don't want. So it's back to what it was. So we are looking at different things, very important things. Are we clear on this? Now the next thing will be to add effects. Very important. Adding effect is very important. Make sure you get it once. So how do we get effect? So what we're doing now, let's say you want to design something and it has to have a background. You understand? So the background is what we'll put first now. So how do you add effects? Can you come down here? Make sure the layer you want to work on is selected, which is the rectangle. That's what you want to add effect. Can you see where they have f of x, fx? Can you see fx down here? So click on it, then click on blending option. Click on it, click on blending option. Okay, you can see the blending options. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to drop shadow. So click on this drop shadow, click on it so that it will bring out the options. So you can select the size. As you're doing it, make sure you're looking, you'll be seeing what you're doing. So can you see that shadow is added? So you can add a stroke. A stroke is like a line. So change the color of the stroke in order for you to see it. So you can see this line added up here. That's the stroke. So you can do a whole lot of things. You can add inner shadow, outer shadow, depending on what you want. You can also add what we call pattern overlayer. So you can add pattern overlayer. If you want another pattern on your work, you can see this is a pattern overlayer. I'm going to take it out because I don't want that. So that's how you can add effects. Any effect you want, very beautiful effect. So I'm going to click on OK. So you can see I have my stroke and I have my shadow added. So those are the things you can do. Very, very important. Very, very important. Are we together on this? So I'm going to add an image. I'm going to try to add an image. There are two ways of adding an image. You can place an image inside here, or you can bring up an image totally different and start working on it. Let's say you have somebody's picture you want to work on. So I'm going to go to File. If I want to place an image inside, I'm going to go to Place. So it will ask me where the image I want to pick. This is the image I want. So I'm going to click on this image. So once I click on that image, I should be able to click on Place. So it will take a while and it will place this image inside this background. You can see the image here. So I can simply drag to squeeze out the image. If I hold down the Shift key, my dragging will be done well. So you can see the way I brought in the image and you can see the layer of the image here. So I can work more on this if I want. Is that clear? So if you want to combine images, that's how you use the place command to combine images. You can still bring in another image again. But if you have a specific image you want to work on, you just go to File and go to Open. Instead of going to New, you use the Open command. Okay, so I'm going to go to File, Open. I want an image to replace all the background. So I'm going to click on the image I want and click on Open. You will see that the image will take up the whole space. You can see the image has taken over the whole space. So you either use Place or you use Open, depending on what you want to achieve. Okay, I think that's about it. I'm going to try to bring in text. So if I want to write on this, I simply come here. Can you see where I will have T? Click on T. And once I click on T, I'll have to click where I want to write. So please look at it here, T. Click on it and click on where you want to write. So once I click, I can write. So this is Tclassified.com crew. Okay, if you're writing, you can see where it is written. It's not very clear. So I'm going to click on it. Once I'm done writing, I press the Enter key. So I can I can select it to move. Once I click on it, click on the move tool so that I can move what I've written, place it in the right position. Then you know that once you are selected, what you have here will be the tools. So if I double click to select again and pick the whole of it, are we following? Or do I leave us more time to follow up? Okay, so I'm gonna click the T again and I just added a new layer which I don't want. So how do you delete a layer? You can right click, then you see where they wrote delete layer. So I'm gonna take out that layer. Okay, so I make sure that I'm still on my Tclassified layer, so I can change the color and everything. So if I click here, you can see other colors. So I select another color, press OK. I can change the size, font style, make it bigger. Okay, it's already in 72, so I'm gonna reduce it to 36. You can see it's smaller now. So I can select the move tool and place it well. Okay, so that's how you bring in text. The other thing left is adjustment layer, which I'm gonna leave for the next class. So let me have all of you do this the way it is. Before I check out adjustment layer, adding up adjustment layer. And to add up adjustment layer is simply the layer where you can make your thing look a little bit different than normal, much more beautiful. So if you go to click on layers, you can see new adjustment layer. So depending on what you want to add, if you want to add brightness, you click on brightness to bring out it will bring out a place where you can work on the brightness. So that's the first adjustment layer I added, brightness. So I can work on it. You can see where it is now. So I can work on the brightness by moving this like this. You can see that it's changing, moving this like this. This is what photo editors, this is what they do to your picture to make it look finer. Just like the filters that you add in normal pictures. I'm going to add another adjustment layer. Go to layers, new adjustment layer, levels. Press OK. It's going to bring out the levels. This is the levels. So I can do anything I want. So you can manipulate it anyhow you want. So you can see as you're adding the adjustment layer, it's adding up here. This is for brightness, this is for levels. I can add up another adjustment layer, add new adjustment layer, curves, exposure. So I'm gonna look at exposure, press OK, the layer will come out. So how you want to expose, in case if you snapped in a dark area, you want to include the exposure, increase the exposure, you can do that. So those are the adjustment layers. You can click back to where you started from. Then you can also click to where you've added the adjustment layer so that you see the way all of them are looking, depending on the layer you want to work on. So I'm going to allow you guys to practice this very simply. Then I'll get back to you. This is about the whole basic that you need in Photoshop. So I'm going to let you guys design a simple thing. I'm going to give you an assignment now. So work on this assignment in Photoshop. As you're working on this assignment, I want you to be asking me questions. Is that clear? So that will make you understand it much better. So thank you. God bless you. Remember, everything you want is in Christ Jesus, and the easiest ways to success is by being a born again. Thank you, and see you when I see you.